Hey, today I'm talking about 3 films, all released in 2020, featuring Sabrina Carpenter. And the names of those 3 movies are Work It, The Short History of the Long Road, and Clouds. Well, first up is Work It. This is a 2020 film that really feels like it was just made for TikTok by TikTokers. That being said, I still was able to enjoy it a good solid amount. This movie had a lot of charm, like Sabrina's charisma really shines through. It's a classic story. She lied about being on the dance team and now she needs to be on the dance team, so she has to make her own dance team because she's not allowed on the actual dance team. So it's a bunch of misfits coming together to win the big competition. There's so many dance breaks throughout the film because that's the point of it, is to show off fun dancing stuff. And I will say the dancing was entertaining. There was no ever like, oh shit moment for me where I was like, oh, that was incredibly cool. I kind of wonder if that's more so because of just how they filmed it, because it was impressive stuff. It just didn't hit me as the most impressive dance scenes I'd seen. Though I do feel like if you are more involved in the dance world, that stuff will hit you better. My least favorite aspect of this movie is the bully. I don't like seeing bully stuff in general. It's usually just super cringy, and it is incredibly cringy here. I get it, that's supposed to be a silly fun movie, but like stuff like that always takes me out of these types of high school stories. They do kind of joke about that stuff near the end because like they have a person who's clearly graduated high school dancing in the final big number thing, and Sabrina's like, well, technically cheated. But by that point they had done so many other ridiculous things, I'm just like, I accept this universe for what it is. So that really didn't bother me. I wish they would have made more jokes like that throughout. I think that really would have helped with all the inconsistencies that are in it. The shiny part of this movie is definitely that about Sabrina. I would extra say her outfits. I am clearly a fan of her looks, but I mean, she's also just, you know, incredibly charming and smart and funny, and just, she's the whole package. Just a little package. She really made this film worthwhile. Yeah, I mean, the script is super basic and they did a lot of tropes and they did them not well. So this film is really just relying on, can you be charmed by Sabrina? And the only way I would recommend it is if you would be charmed by Sabrina, which she does have a lot of charm and charisma, so it's kind of hard to not. I would especially recommend it if you are into dance, whether you're a dancer or do you just love like the dance aspect of TikTok. I think there's a lot for you to chew on with this film. If you're not really a fan of Sabrina, there is potential that in this film she could win you over with her charm, but the cringy stuff might kind of hinder your enjoyment to the point of wanting to turn it off. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it in that case. So it is good and worth a watch if you think this is your vibe. Next up is The Short History of the Long Road. This is a 2020 film, and the basic premise is Sabrina is this teenaged girl living with her, let's just say, eccentric dad in a van. They are van life, but not like hashtag van life. They are the system type of van life, slash also just really poor. Not to spoil anything, but some stuff happens and then Sabrina's on her own for the rest of the film. So it's just about that struggle of a teenage girl trying to grow up, but then also how does she want to live life? Like, she has lived her whole life in this van and really understands what her dad was going for, but also like she has these pull towards wanting to be with people and live a more normal life. So what exactly is the balance? And these are very big questions for someone so young. So how does she even like begin to grapple with these ginormous questions? So I definitely like the story a lot. It reminds me a lot of Leave No Trace, a movie I crazy love. Highly recommend. But back to this, I do think they do a really good job of showcasing like just the constant struggles of everything when it comes to real life van life. I will say Sabrina wasn't the strongest in this. She wasn't bad by any means, but there was definitely some sad and emotional moments that pushed her limits. I think she can get to those moments, but she just wasn't able to get to them here for the most part. And I will say too, the movie did a good job of giving us those slow, quiet moments, which is what van life is all about. It's, you know, the long road. You're in the wilderness, just in your head contemplating your life. And it gave us those moments, but it didn't let us sit in those moments. And then off of that, I feel like there were kind of too many scenes. Just kind of went from one thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing, which they were all very interesting scenes. But I feel like what they should have done is cut out like a handful of those scenes and then just let all those other ones last longer to truly kind of let the weight of the situation sit on top of us and depress us. I feel like a lot of times times when big things happened, we weren't given a lot of time to truly sit with those. So just slowing her down a bit could have honestly made it feel shorter and then helped the emotions of a story really play out well. But yeah, no, I really liked what it was going for. I think the execution isn't quite there. That being said, I would still definitely recommend it. It is an interesting story. It is an important story. And even though Sabrina's not the best in it, and there's some changes they should probably have made, it's still a worthwhile experience and should leave you with some thoughts about our society. So yeah, no, definitely a good film. Would recommend. And lastly is Clouds. This again is a 2020 film based on a true story about this high school boy who was dying of cancer and eventually released an incredibly popular song, which I wasn't sure if I was gonna know it, but then when they finally played it, I'm like, oh yeah, I know this song. Though I'm not sure when I know the song from, because it was originally released around 2012, 2013 initially, but then it had a resurgence of popularity when the movie came out in 2020. So I don't know if I know it from 2020 or the initial release. Either way, it is a good song. I do like the song. The music in general in this is actually very solid. So this one was tough for me because I really did not care for the main boy, especially in the beginning. He's very cocky and just way too much. He's supposed to be this confident boy who's charismatic and everyone gets along with. But if I knew this guy in real life, I would hate him. I feel bad for hating him because he's dying of cancer, but like, dude, chill. Like, a key example of why I did not like this kid is that he sings "I'm sexy and I know it" at a school function. And like, this probably happened, but like, oh my God, you don't sing that song at a school function. That's so gross. No, what? No. He's like, it's funny. And I'm like, no, that was incredibly inappropriate. Also, the film feels so much like a faith-based film, just like religious propaganda type stuff, without any religious elements to it. Like, there is one scene where they go to this healing place, but like, there's not really any mention of God. Anytime stuff like that does come up, all the main characters seem dismissive of that. And I get why they went with that vibe, because that's probably the target demographic, but it makes me like the film less, because I'm like, you're relying on these crutches of films that are not the most solid. You can still tell a family-friendly version of this story without doing this, especially because the movie's pretty horny too, which honestly was a bit weird. I also really didn't like the love triangle aspect of the film. I get that that happened most likely in real life, but like, I don't know, it feels strange. Like, he's dating this dancer girl while his best friend loves him, and then they write these really popular songs together. I feel like there's a way they easily could have cleaned that up a bit to make it more smooth. I'm complaining a lot. There are elements of this I definitely liked. Neve Campbell is really good in this. She's the mom. She definitely delivers on some good emotional moments. I really felt for her. Sabrina Carpenter is also obviously a standout. Her charisma definitely comes through in this, and her sad moments really play well in this too. I think part of that too is because they're more subtle, but I definitely felt for her. And I will say too that like, though I didn't super connect to the movie overall, there were emotional moments that did hit for me, especially near the end when things were very terminal. I would say the concert scene definitely got to me. So yeah, I'm definitely mixed on this film. I'd say it's middle of the road. It's fine. If you do like faith-based films, I would say go for it for sure. Or like, if you're a teenage girl, definitely go for this. If you fall outside of that demographic or you don't think this sounds interesting, yeah, don't go for it. There is some nuggets of really interesting stuff. I don't think the overall experience is really worth it. So yeah, I liked it. It was fine, and I would recommend it to only specific people. Otherwise, it's a safe one to skip. Alrighty, now for today's rankings. First up, we got Work It sitting at number 16 in the quite-like section. Kind of in the middle, but on the top half. And then after that, not too terribly far behind, is The Short History of the Wrong Road, sitting at number 20, again in the quite-like section. And then bringing up the rear, not too terribly far behind, is Cloud, sitting at number 24 in the liked section. And this is out of a total of 33 old movies so far this year.